Hello, Supreme Dream Team, eating burritos and nacho supremes. Today we're going to take a look at these two lean, green, mean fighting machines. And I actually think I took that from the Ninja Turtles. That's probably their catchphrase. But yes, we're taking a look at Generations Toys' Gravity Builder, their Mixmaster and Scrapper. Well, very specifically, we are looking at the OS version provided by Jinbao. And some folks were confused, asking whether Jinbao and Generations Toys are the same company. They are not. GT is the original company. Jinbao is a fourth party, and they came along and they upscaled and oversized these guys. Right now, it does seem to be Devastator season, meaning that everybody's coming out with their own take of Devi. We got MMC, we got Fans Toys, we got Hasbro, Mecha Invasion, and actually Mecha Invasion is Generations Toys, and so what we're looking at over here, these are the grandpappies, the granddaddies of the new Mecha Invasion Giant Legion, and so at the end of this video, well, not this video, but in the subsequent ones, we're going to compare the combined forms, and we're also going to install the upgrade kit for their version that makes them a little bit more G1, but in this one, we're just going to take a look at the vehicles and also the bot modes, and combine mode will come later, okay? Hey, really quick, word from our sponsor, tfsafari.com. These two cats that I'm reviewing right over here and all the other stuff that you see me review on the channel, these are brought to you by TF Safari, and I thank them for giving me an opportunity to review these toys. They're a retailer out of China. They're very trustworthy. They ship quickly in about 2 weeks. Everything is packed extremely well, and there's a ton of stuff ranging from first, second, third, fourth party, and they have a lot of upgrade kits as well, from official to homebrew, 3D printed stuff. Great place to shop, and if you do end up going there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right-hand corner of your screen and save yourself a bit of change. tfsafari.com. Thank you so much. All right, let's start with the Master of Mix, the Mister of Max. We have Mixmaster or Max Mister, and these are the grandpappies, like I mentioned, of Mecha Invasion's current line. And despite not really sharing any similarities, I can see that there is some design philosophy that is shared, meaning that chunks of this stuff, it moves in tandem. Like, they aren't little tiny flappity bits. Things move in big chunky motions and sweeps, and I like that a lot. There's also a lot of tabbing mechanisms in that, for me at least, bring me a lot of like sanity and just kind of like guide rails that allow me to know and understand that I am on the right path. And so definitely I can see that it has that type of family resemblance. But in terms of the actual vehicle, it's very, very different. I mean, granted, these are the legs and Mecha Invasion's version is the arms, but yeah, so there's still a lot of differences. The tires are made out of some type of rubber plastic thing. It's different than the vinyl that this is cast out of, and he has no issues rolling, rolls like a champ. I do love the caution construction signs over here, and I think that's all the accessories that go on him. This bit opens up, but obviously it's not functional. It's just a little flappity flap, and I think that's cool. This also opens up in here, and there is like a blaster, but I'm not sure if I can reveal it in this mode. Perhaps when we have more access to this later in bot mode, we could do something. But yeah, there is a blaster hidden inside over here. This thing will unplug and become the heel of the combined mode, and we'll do that separately. I will say, in terms of like quality wise, the one thing that I've kind of encountered is a lot of the bits that are on slide mechanisms like this that you're supposed to slide out, I have great difficulty doing so. And the same thing applies for Scrapper's fists over here as well. I kind of had to develop a system, but they don't come out as smoothly as I would like them to. And yeah, this is one of the things I was talking to you about. See that little tab and section over here? That's cool, man. That gives me some sense of assurity. And again, everything tabs in. I will say, compared to the Generations Toys original version, the tolerances are not as tight, and the plastic material is a little bit different. But still, man, it's a really, really good toy. And there is one small QC issue on mine. A tab broke, so when we get him into combined mode, you'll actually see that there's a support section that swings kind of freely. But neither here nor there, not for this video at least. Yeah, he's a pretty good toy. I do wish some of the tolerances were a little bit tighter, but hey, you get what you pay for. This is fourth party type stuff, you know what I mean? But still a very beautiful vehicle, very stylized, and a nice take on Devastator. And granted, this is 10 years old. This is from at least 2015, you know, and that's wild. I think it still holds up, and so really, really good job on the designers and the engineers to put this piece together like this. And here we have the combination port that's on a really, really tight ratchet and spring. But let's go over Scrapper in his vehicle mode, and then we'll traverse into bot mode, okay? All right, here is Scrapper, 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 whatever it is, the leader of the Constructicons, you know? I always thought it should have been someone else. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being a foot, but I don't know. I assumed that it would have been like Hook or somebody at the top. And yeah, he's also a nice vehicle. I will say this bit over here, I do wish it tabbed in a little bit better. I think that the way this works is he does have a blaster, and I think once the blaster gets incorporated, these kind of tab in, like these tabs over here by the feet, will hold it a little bit better together. But yeah, he rolls pretty good, but I've had a couple of times where it got caught on something, but still not the worst thing in the world. Also, I will say that I really enjoy these big chunky tires. And did I bring these down properly? I think so. Yeah, I appreciate that. Again, I think it's rubber. I'm not an expert on materials, manufacturing materials, but it feels gummy and rubbery, and it feels good when you're rolling it against the surface. And there's a little bit of friction here, but then you can just kind of lift that mixer drum up. It's very, very big, and you know, similar to Mixmaster's cab in the front, it gives me this great sense of security, knowing that, like, hey, that's going to be supporting the bot. And also, another thing that I was talking about, like these tabs and stuff, everything that locks it in place. He has a bunch of these posts over here that will lock in, that will, again, hold everything up once we convert him into his combined mode, which we are not going to do on this video. One of the things I will say that they got rid of in Giant Legion is that there aren't as many like flippity flaps like this. There aren't this many random bits. Especially their bone crusher, like all the pistons and the scavenger, the moving parts, like they got rid of all of that. They simplified it because while it is cool, I think you can argue, like, who's that really for, right? Like, they're putting all this effort and complexity into it, but are people really going to care? I don't know, you know? And I think they decided against it. I mean, I do like this, though. I do like all these like additional ratchety bits. I like the fact that they're on ratchets and stuff, and I think they're on spring ratchets and not knuckle ratchets, because you can kind of hear it, right? And I think it's actually only here. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of things have evolved and a lot of things have changed from this to what they are now. But again, some similar design philosophies that that him and Mixmaster share is that there is a base, like this core section over here, and then these components will kind of like swivel, but they are on like large panes and large planes and panes, and they don't move with small tiny flaps. They move in big fluid motions. And there are a couple of things here, for instance, like this bit. You'll see it in a second when we transform him. It kind of folds up and secures in place, and they're small, but again, they're not these like wispy tiny flaps that provide me headaches and drive me crazy. One of the things that they do rely on is weird kind of like segmentation and bends where the alt modes are, where the knees are for the alt modes, and he also has that as well. You can see over here how the knees are kind of bent, so they're not in 90 degrees, and so if you're not familiar with it, getting them back into these forms can be somewhat difficult at times, but once you get used to it and you kind of like understand, like figure out some mnemonics, for instance, like these flaps, knowing that they sit right above the shins and just kind of remembering that to guide you, it becomes less difficult. And again, there's a lot of guide rails on these types of things. And so I think they do a good job. And once again, 15-year-old toy still looks very, very good. And in bot mode, alt mode, and combined form. And speaking of the different modes, we will transform them into bot mode right now. Should we go mix or should we go scrap? Mix or scrap? Mix or scrap? Mix or scrap? Let's go with Mixmaster since we went with them first, okay? Be right back. All right, and if it appears that I'm talking kind of fast, yeah, I'm operating with a solid stomach full of food. I just had some Danish toast along with some almond butter, some chocolate-covered almonds, and a cup of coffee, and oof, chef's kiss. No, it's all good. Very, very delicious. So, all right, I've transformed these a handful of times, and but I'm not gonna lie, I'm still probably not 100% familiar, but I am gonna go with what I know. And so we start by untabbing these bits from the side, and yeah, MI's version does the same type of thing. And then from here, we are going to pull this arm out, this section, and you can see how it tabs in right over there, right? But once you kind of get that free, you can see how the shoulder is in here. You can bring all of that out, and it will kind of like pop and tab into place. And what's kind of nuts is, see next to his face house, there's this flap. You can actually bring the flap down to cover that shoulder joint. And so they didn't have to do that, but I think it's kind of cool. So once again, that little bit is tabbed in over there, and so you can kind of free that up and then bring all of that out, and then bring that little side bit down. You can actually remove this and it will allow us to get some better like light piping in the eyes. But anyway, so yeah, so from here you can see that the shoulders are backwards, and the arms, you see those little like slots, they are tabbed into the side over here, and so you just need to kind of dislodge them. And then you're going to flip this around, and then you're going to flip the arm up, and they have a lot of these. These are kind of interesting in that they break up the bicep and they break up the thighs and stuff with these, not arbitrary, but with these kind of joint breaks, with these limb breaks, and then you just kind of plug that in there. And note that when he transforms, you see that hole? That will actually plug into that bit over there, like as you would see right here. That and that would normally be plugged in, like so. But anyway, flip the arms around. Boy, just a second ago, as I was prepping for this video, I was watching this old movie. It's a really old movie, 1990s, I think. It's called Awakenings with, what is it? With Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. Boy, that's a good movie, man. Always brings me to tears. And, oh man, such a shining soul that we lost in Robin Williams. Obviously, I don't know him on a personal level, but when I watch his movies, and I just watched Good Will Hunting as well, it just makes me sad that he had so many things going on in his life that he couldn't reconcile, that he had to exit prematurely, so to speak. And yeah, rest in peace, Robin Williams, man. I never thought that funny man, that guy who seemed like he was full of so much joy and smiles and brought so much laughter to the world, was going through what he was going through. And I mean, I don't really fully know. These are supposed to untab, by the way, and these will kind of like lift up, but I'm having some difficulty. So maybe if I split this, I'll have a better time doing that. But yeah, and you know, so a lot of time folks are going through things that you don't know, you know, that sometimes they're just kind of on the verge of the breaking point. And so all we can do is hope the best for them. And you see me fishing out the toe over here, right? You got to move this around, then you got to flip this back. I will say I really don't like the way this foot is designed, and I'll show you just in a second. But yeah, anyway, I was gonna say, yeah, some people are at their breaking point. You're gonna bring this up and make sure that that bit slides in there, and there's a corresponding part on the other side, I believe, that I can't quite see right now, but I'm pretty sure that it's in there. And then from here we're gonna flip this out and bring that down, and that's gonna close up. And then this bit will untab and you'll bring down here, and then you'll flip this bit. And so, all right, I believe I've done this correctly. I really don't like how, for the weight of this bot, everything is being channeled down. It doesn't preserve the center of gravity. It like moves it back over here, and this is not on a ratchet or anything. It's just on a ball joint, and I think I can see that becoming very weak over time. And oh, this is the bit that I was telling you about, the QC issues, right? These two things are split. They're supposed to be pegged in together, but for my copy, they're not. It's actually broken, but it is what it is. I don't know what I'm going to do with this once I finish it, because Mecha Invasion's, what is it, Devastator is my de facto, Devastator going forward. And so I don't know whether I should sell this, give this away, or, all right, cool. It's all plugged in properly. But yeah, some people are at their breaking point. You never know, you know what I mean? And so certainly we try to have empathy when we can, but of course there are boundaries, and you know, you got to make sure that regardless of what other people are going through as well, they can't be impacting your space. They can't be bringing their trauma onto you or their troubles and stuff. And so it's always good to draw boundaries, and you know, it's good to be compassionate, but also to have respect for yourself and to not let their ink sometimes stain your precious garment, you know what I mean? And so sometimes boundaries are necessary. Yeah, I wish this kind of tabbed in a little bit better. like there are areas for it to tab in, but it just likes to kind of slip out. And it is secure on both sides. I saw it, but nonetheless, and pretty much that's it. But this is what I was talking about. I really, really don't like that. They could have done a better job on this. Or like I don't think, and there is a weird bug flying around in my office. And here, if I try to bring, oh, geez. I'm trying not to get freaked out because I hate bugs. And there is a way to kind of, I think he smells the food on my mouth. There is a way to get the foot more aligned over here, but it ruins the sculpt. And it's not meant to be like that. This is meant to tab in. You see that bit over here on the inside where my middle finger is from the left hand? That tabs in and that tabs in, and you can't really do more than that. And it's resting pretty much right where that purple bit is. And yeah, that's the foot. But again, just really dislike how everything is just resting on there. Will he stand? Yeah, he'll stand. But I just got to make sure that the weight is distributed properly and that he'll be chill, right? But you saw what I was doing. And so and this, like, there is some type of play pattern here. I'm messing it up right now where I thought that this opens up. I mean, it does open up. And I think there's a double hinge on here. Oh, and this is what it was. Yeah, I'm probably doing this all wrong right now. But this can kind of like flip back, and then you can see more of his face revealed, and then you can get that cool light piping going on. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I do like the fact that his face is more revealed, and that's kind of cool, like chilling back here as well, but he does lose his mix mastery-ness, you know what I mean? In terms of looking like how he should look. And I think that's just like that. And that's not bad. But like I said, the foot thing kind of drives me crazy. Wish they had done that better. Articulation-wise, he's pretty good, you know. Ratchets. Oh, I'm thinking of Scrapper. I was like, dude, his waist thing doesn't lift up. But yeah, limitation over here. But you can kind of like move this to the side and you can get... No, actually, you can't get any more. So yeah, somewhat limited in his articulation, front back for the feet. Arms, you're going to get what you get, but wherever there's collision, obviously, you're going to be kind of stopped. But you can improve that by closing this in on itself. You can get some more, but again, yeah, not too bad. And he also has this like little like... he has like attitude on the hips, like... Sup, brah? Do some like stretches and stuff like that, like yeah. But it's primarily for his ankle tilt when he's in his foot mode. But still, he has that. Doesn't have a crunch going forward, and I think that was before crunches were popular. So yeah, so he's just a solid dude over here, other than the feetsies. But not too bad, not too bad. But okay, let's transform Mr. Scrapper. So I'll set him off to the side, and we can focus on his brother. And if I've done something wrong with regard to the transformation and the legs, and somebody out there is like, no, there's a way to like fix them like really firmly, you let me know, because I would love to learn. Okay. All right, let's work on Scrapper. And I was gonna say, man, I can feel my body kind of not tensing up, but feeling tight. And so what I typically do is after I record content, I go take like a 2-mile walk. There's like a loop right outside my office, and I'll just take a walk, 1 mile forward, 1 mile back, and then proceed to do some light stretching and stuff before I do more content. But yeah, just sitting there and doing nada is not great, friends. Definitely get your steps in, get some sun, touch grass, and all that good stuff, right? So similar to Mixmaster, the arms, everything is like tabbed into the side, and so you can start moving these things, and these ladders are supposed to be down, but the arms are tabbed in, and you can just lift them up, and you can see that little like belly tab over there. We can lift these up as well. What's cool is that the tires will actually recess. They'll kind of lift up a la Fans Toys, and they'll recess in the back. You can see that double hinge over there, and I wasn't aware of it at first, but I think it does help the look. And then the arms, you'll lift these up, you'll bend these out. These will fold and then spin, and so that the orientation can do that. And then this will just fold up and be back there. Okay, so this bit you're going to bring down, right? And so the fist is on a slider. So for my version, I can't say for anyone else's, if I just try to pull it out like this, it doesn't work. And so what I need to do is, because when I'm pushing, I'm exerting a downward force, but also a inward force just because of the way this is. And so to combat that, I will press down, and then on this side, I will press in on the fist. And then when I do that, it's supposed to work, but now it's not on camera. Ow! All right, hold up, one more time. Press down, and then press in on the fist to counteract that inner force, and there we go. And then when you pull it out all the way, there will be a light snap. Then we can do that. And then we can get this, and then we can double hinge it back until it's resting back there. And then that will just kind of rest there. And those are the arms. One more time, we'll bring this out, we'll fold this, we'll bend this, and then we'll swivel this to the other side, and then bend that up and bend this in on itself. We'll open up the flap by the fist and slide. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Slide and then push down, and yeah. I don't know if the Generations Toys version, the OG version, works a little bit better, but there we go. And then we can fold this up. This flap doesn't really go anywhere, but whatever, dude, man, just chills there. And then once again, we double hinge this back. And yeah, again, for a 15-year-old toy, man, I still think this holds up, dude. I still think it holds up. We flip this out. We can bring the head up. And we do that. And for the legs, we're going to bring out the toes. I'm also not a fan of how this is done. Like, again, everything just rests on this, and just not a big fan of that. In their newer toys, we don't really see too many designs like that. In the MI version, basically. But yeah, that would be a complaint of mine on both of these leg figures, is just, I just don't really like how the toes are done. So all right, so this bit over here, it doesn't transform like you typically would expect. So you can flip these out. These things are plugged in right over here. And then from there, you can kind of lift that out. Oh, got to do this. Almost forgot. So these are tabbed in right over here. You're going to bring these out. And then you're going to double hinge these up. And then you're going to split this and fold them in on themselves, I believe. But I think you're going to... I think actually, never mind. I think it stays like that. When you fold it in on itself, I believe that's the combine mode. And so now we can straighten up the leg. And then this will spin around like this. This will secure to that hole right there. I wish it was a little bit tighter, because that's pretty much how the foot is coming around like this. But yeah, beyond this, there's nothing else to really secure it. It would have been nice if like this somehow secured into the side, but it doesn't. So yeah, one more time. We're going to bend this up, the thigh, so that it clicks. Then we're going to bring that all the way down, straighten this up, flip this, have this plug into that port, bring the ankle around, and that's the foot. Not the worst thing in the world, but not the best thing in the world either. Yeah, just, I don't know. But I'll stop talking about it. Oh, I think we're done. Oh, and of course, we can leave this secured over here, and then this back bit we can have it compress. And that's a good looking scrapper, man. That's how I remember him looking. Big shovel on the back of the dome, behind the head. And yeah, again, the loose feet. Just could have done something better with this. Because like I said, there's a lot of weight and everything is just kind of hinging. Like it's all just hinging on that ankle part, hoping that it's not going to fall forward. So you can position it like I just showed you right here. You can position it so that he's not going to fall down. And the same thing for Mixmaster as well. You can position it so that he's not going to fall down. I would not trust them on a shelf though. I absolutely would not trust them to just kick it on a shelf by their lonesome like that. No way, no way. So once I put these cats in combine mode and combine them into Devastator, I'll probably never put them into bot mode. But for what it's worth, just kind of looking at him, he has a little bit of better leg articulation because he has this kind of like flap over here that, whoa, that just flew off right now. All right, I'll grab it later. But in the back, of course, it's impeded. It's not that they don't have the joint. It's that there's just collision with some of their parts. And same thing for the arms over here, you know. Everything's good until you encounter some like collision bits. But, you know, it's all like baked in. And again, 15 years ago, they still did a pretty good job. At that time, there's no ab crunches. There are ab swivels. But yeah, the ab crunch seems to be kind of like a modern thing that we've seen in the past, perhaps 5-6 years. And people are all the rage about that. It's like, yo, need to have ab crunch. And if not, it's like, worst toy in the world. But yeah, and then he has ankle tilt over here and even toe tilt to some degree. But it's more a part of just like the transformation and stuff by virtue of that. And so, but yeah. So here are the two grandpappies of Mecha Invasion's Mixmaster and Scavenger. And from Generations Toys. And as I mentioned, upscaled by Jinbao. But the next video is going to be, because we've already done Scavenger and Bone Crusher. So we're going to do Hook and Long Haul and then combine them together, showcase the upgrade kit, and that will be that. As always, I always thank you for being here, especially for y'all who watched to the end. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, if there's anything that you would like to see that I could improve upon my approach towards these things, just let me know. More media, more cutaways, more just still images, size comparisons, or you want, I don't know, more focus on the articulation. I really don't know, but let me know and I'll see if I can incorporate some of those changes and then we'll grow together as a team. Yeah. Thanks a lot again. I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay. Bye.